Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chesterton's Jest, where we keep a critical eye on faith and culture, especially within the Catholic Church today. In an age where even church teachings seem to be shifting, we're here to explore and question the ideas and changes that challenge timeless truths. Through thought-provoking, often humorous perspectives, we aim to bring clarity to conversations others might avoid, holding fast to orthodoxy with the courage to question what feels off track. If you would like to join us as we dig deeper into the faith with reverence, wit, and a touch of Chestertonian insight, you can support this channel by gently pressing the like, share, and subscribe buttons in that order, and we thank you for your support. And now, without further ado, in a world numbed by indifference, secularism doesn't conquer by force. It quietly feasts on the apathy that abandons truth, beauty, and God to the void. The apathy that ate the world, how secularism feasts on indifference. Chapter 1. The Cult of Apathy. Secularism, that most peculiar invention of modern man, often proclaims itself as a neutral arbiter, a framework of governance and culture that promises freedom from the imposition of religious dogma. Yet, its success lies less in what it offers and more in what it destroys. At its heart, secularism thrives not on rebellion, but on indifference, feeding on the apathy of souls too tired, distracted, or spiritually numb to seek the higher truth of existence. Apathy is no benign neglect. It is the soil from which acedia, the noonday devil of spiritual sloth, takes root. Aquinas, in his Summa Theologica, second part, question 35, article 1, warns us that acedia is not mere laziness, but a despair of divine joy, a refusal to pursue the good that leads to God. In an era dominated by secular ideals, this form of sloth does not simply abandon the pursuit of truth. It actively discourages it, leading souls away from contemplation and devotion. Secularism, then, is not content with questioning God. It subtly convinces the masses that God no longer matters. Chapter 2. The Festival of Reason and the Secular Creed. One of history's most emblematic displays of secularism's hollow promises came during the French Revolution. One would think that these lessons had been gleaned from recent history, but no. We have to go all the way back to 1793 to the Festival of Reason, where they crowned the goddess of reason in the very heart of Notre Dame Cathedral, the once sacred space where the faithful gathered to worship ideals. This grotesque spectacle was the brainchild of Pierre Gaspard Chaumet, a revolutionary atheist who sought to erase Christianity from French culture. The ceremony, celebrated on November 10th, 1793, turned Notre Dame into the Temple of Reason. It involved theatrical performances, speeches, and even parades, all proclaiming human self-reliance as the new creed. Yet, this new religion offered no real moral framework, no redemptive hope, only the cold worship of intellect divorced from divine wisdom. Chesterton might call this the suicide of thought, for what is reason, unmoored from the divine, but a tool for tyranny? The revolutionaries, in their zeal to liberate, ended up shackling the French people to a godless vacuum. As history reminds us, the reign of terror soon followed, proving that when man dethrones God, he enthrones violence, chaos, and despair. Chapter 3. Secularism's Fruits, or Lack Thereof. Sociologically, secularism has borne bitter fruit. In the book Suicide, written in 1897 by Emile Durkheim, the father of sociology, observed that societies devoid of shared moral frameworks experience higher rates of despair and isolation. Without the anchoring presence of religion, secular societies often fall prey to what he termed anomie, a state of normlessness where individuals lack purpose or direction. In his view, when religious belief wanes, so does the collective moral conscience, leaving individuals adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Consider modern Western nations where secularism has reached its zenith. Church attendance has plummeted, replaced not by vibrant civic life, but by consumerism, digital escapism, and nihilistic despair. A recent Pew Research Center study from 2021 revealed that in the United States, the percentage of religiously unaffiliated individuals, otherwise known as nones, has risen to 29%, a stark increase from 16% in 2007. Yet this growing demographic is not happier or more fulfilled. Studies consistently show higher rates of depression, anxiety, and loneliness among those who lack religious community and practice. Secularism promises freedom, but it delivers fragmentation. It claims to liberate the individual, but it isolates him from the sacred bonds of family, community, and God. Like the goddess of reason, it parades itself as progress, while leading its devotees into spiritual decay. Chapter 4. Acedia in the Age of Netflix. The modern world, fueled by secular apathy, has made acedia its reigning vice. This is no longer the laziness of old, but an active avoidance of divine joy. Instead of seeking truth, we binge-watch endless entertainment. Instead of contemplating eternity, we scroll through the fleeting trivialities of social media. Chesterton once remarked, "The Christian ideal has not been tried and found wanting. It has been found difficult and left untried." Secularism thrives because it demands nothing but passivity. True faith, by contrast, requires action, prayer, sacrifice, and the pursuit of virtue. It is far easier to reject God and declare oneself spiritual but not religious than to kneel in humility and take up the cross. Yet it is this very cross, the sign of hope and victory, that secularism seeks to diminish in its pursuit of temporal comfort and fleeting pleasures. Chapter 5. Reclaiming the Cathedral of the Soul. What then is the remedy? The first step is to confront the apathy that feeds secularism. As the French Revolution taught us, when we remove God from the altar, we do not achieve liberation, but enslavement. The soul, like Notre Dame Cathedral, must be reconsecrated. This begins with prayer, the most radical act in a secular age. To pray is to admit that we are not self-sufficient, that we are creatures dependent on our Creator. It continues with charity, for true love of neighbour is impossible without love of God. And it culminates in the sacraments, where grace restores what secularism has torn asunder. History reminds us that revolutions without God lead to tyranny. The only true revolution is the one that begins in the heart, a revolution of grace, humility, and faith. Chapter 6. The Conclusion. Reason restored to faith. The festival of reason was not the triumph of intellect, but its betrayal. True reason, as Chesterton would argue, is inseparable from faith. It is faith that elevates reason, giving it purpose and direction. To sever the two is to reduce reason to a sterile tool incapable of comprehending the mysteries of existence. Secularism is not the answer to humanity's struggles, it is the cause. Only by returning to the divine can we hope to overcome the apathy and indifference that plague our age. Let us, then, reject the false gods of our time and enthrone Christ in our hearts, for he is the source of all truth, beauty, and goodness. If you liked this video diatribe and found it informative and entertaining, please support us with a like and a share. It helps the algorithm. And please, head on over to chestertonsjest.com and check out our collection of graphic T-shirts that illuminate and reflect our wonderful Catholic faith. At Chesterton's Jest, we believe there's no better way to express your unwavering faith than with a little wit and humour. Because, as G.K. Chesterton said, angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. Thanks for listening. God bless you, and may the good Lord be praised.